Hello and welcome to Racers Now for the usual Monday night chat with SD on a massive week, not only for racing, but also for Racers Now, as this is the end of our flat season from April the 6th, the day after the Grand National, until Champions Day this Saturday, the 18th of October. SD is a million miles in front of me on the YouTube tip in front, so he's going to be collecting £50 off me some point between now and Christmas. But first, SD, the feature race of the weekend, the Catterick Dash at Catterick on Saturday. A race card at Catterick that starts at 11 a.m. SD will be there for a 7-race extravaganza where they've got
maybe
races.
maybe eight if they divide.
Got races at 11, 11:28 and 11:56. But all eyes, particularly those from the Derbyshire household, will be on the 120, the William Hill Catterick Dash Handicap. What do you fancy, SD? There's 18 in there at the moment. What a race.
Well, what a race. It's not going to be the normal Catterick Dash, I have to say, because usually at this time of year, they'll come straight down the stand side on soft ground. Oh, no. And Vintage Clarets has won it the last 2 years and probably ran well in the face of a draw bias last time at Haydock Park.
A draw bias at Haydock? No way.
Nevertheless, it's nice Hills have priced this up, actually.
Yeah. Shame about the percentages.
Well, it is a shame about the percentages, but I do think they've got one wrong. I mean, you look at a horse like Lexington Blitz, who does have a bit of star quality. Was second in the 3-year-old dash at Hexham, no less. Earlier this year. He's still an entire. He's still got his bits about him. Look, he's in very good form. He was second over C&D back in at the end of August, and then ran really well in behind Copper Knight at Redcar, who was given an enterprising ride up the stand side. I thought that was a decent enough effort. I was very surprised he was 12-1 Lexington Blitz. You've not got the price on, man. You've not got the price on.
Oh, apologies. Half a point each way free. 12-1. That's a quarter at 12-1 with the sponsors. I'll get that on for you now. Yes, I will attest that SD was surprised at the prices because he was looking at the race as he usually does, not knowing the prices. And he said, what's the price of this Lexington Blitz? And I told him 12-1, and he nearly fell off his sofa a few minutes before recording. Quite happy with that 12-1, aren't you?
I'm very happy with the 12-1. And of course, Robert Cowell, the great Robert Cowell, who's so good with sprinters, is bidding to beat his what year did he win this race? I think it was 2017 he won it.
2017 Storm Over.
Yes, I was there for that.
Of course you was. Right, okay. Well, that's the feature race of the weekend boxed off. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, right, we'll leave it there. Bye.
Right. Cheers. See you, SD. It's Champions Day. SD is going to do a moan up, and I would disagree with him. But there's 5 Group 1s back to back. There's also a new 2-year-old conditions race that predictably looks more like a sales race than a group quality race. Not that it is a group race yet. And there's the Balmoral Handicap to finish things off over the straight mile, where SD has already tipped one in that last Thursday. Do we want to comment on the 2-year-old race, SD? I know we had a bit of a...
Well, look, Ascot do what Ascot do. We'll just desecrate over the racing programme. We'll just plonk a race there, and we'll try and make it fucking group status.
Yes.
It's just like York, but in the south. Move on.
Headliners in that race, in the 2-year-old race, Words of Truth, rated 112 for Charlie Appleby, won his last 3. Brussels, who we saw, got beat. I think he went 1-1-2 in running at Newmarket on Friday, etc. But it's safe to say, I don't think there is any group winners in there. There might be a listed winner or two, but it doesn't have the feel of a group race as it stands. May change in the future. In the 130 Saturday at Ascot, the long distance cup, this is disappointing. There's no 2 ways of getting around it. There were 5 confirmed on the...
Yes, Words of Truth won the Mill Reef.
Words of Truth from the Mill Reefs. Apologies. I've not looked at it in detail, as you can imagine. And that's why his favourite...
So negative.
Because he's the only one in there that has got group form. Fair enough. Will he run? We'll find out Thursday. The long distance cup, there's 6 in there. There was 5, 1 plus 1 supplementary. Stay True. I'm on record saying this Stay True could be very good. I tipped him in the ledger. He was possibly last off the bridle in the ledger on his 4th ever start. He had a big mid-season break between May and August. I think he's a good horse in the making. Probably one for next year. Is he good enough to beat Trawlerman at this stage? I'm not sure. Probably not. And at 4-1, I think he's short enough. But other familiar names in there: Sweet William, Al Kareem, Someway. They will get Someway's distance right at one stage, SD, because his last 5 runs have been over 12, 16, 12 and a half, 18, 20, and then back to 16 here.
Well, the prizeman is all right, isn't it?
Trawlerman's 4-7.
But what I would say, I don't know if you agree or disagree with this, is I think sorry, this is tuft of hair. I really do need a haircut. That's much better.
Are you having the skin fade, or is that for when you just?
Well,
go
I
on
just
holiday?
go in the barbers and tell them to do the usual. Where was I? Yes. I thought Stay True was a 12 furlong horse. I thought he ran like one in the ledger.
SD, you could well be right. I
So it
honestly,
surprised me.
it does sound a bit wishy-washy, and I try not to be, but in the St. Ledger, I just thought he ran there and at York, like the potential of a really, really good horse. He's very inexperienced, maybe one for next year and maybe one for a shorter trip, as ST states. He's actually going up in trip here to 2 miles. So, yeah, question. I think he's probably too short, actually, Stay True, for all I've said. I think he might be a good horse in the making. Trawlerman's just got the experience, he's a Gold Cup winner, etc. this year, won at York. Looks pretty bomb-proof, does he not? There was a French horse in here, but
he
he's
was
not in it
beaten
anymore.
in this last year.
He was.
And I know it was soft ground. He's been
By
beaten
Kyprios, to be fair.
Well, oh my God.
And Sweet William. Yeah. But Kyprios,
Yeah.
completely different league to all of these.
Well, just steady yourself, Mr. King.
He is.
It wouldn't surprise me if he got beat, and it wouldn't surprise me if Sweet William beat him. There you go. I'm not betting at this stage,
No.
but if there's a big enough differential, and I just wouldn't be surprised if Sweet William got one over on him one day.
And to be fair to Sweet William, he did look better than ever at Doncaster. I mean, backlight losing was out of the question that day in that Doncaster Cup Group 2. Obviously, this is a level up. But yeah, he did look better than ever that day, to be fair. He's been behind Trawlerman a couple of times in his career, maybe 2 or 3. I think as SD kind of is going down, the presence of Stay True, being trained by Aidan O'Brien, with question marks over inexperience, development, trip, might mean that Sweet William on the day is a price, possibly in the without markets as well. Because at Stay True 4-1 currently and Sweet William 7-1, it might be attractive in a without market on Thursday as well. Right, trying to move.
I think
swiftly.
Sweet William will get back. There you go.
Yes, yeah, you can definitely see it. Right, the sprint then. Champion Sprint, 21 runners in there at the moment, 20 maximum. I previewed this, and all the races last week, to be fair. There is a supplementary horse in, I think, every group race on Saturday. In this race, Rosie Affair for George Bowie's been supplemented, and Ray Iveca supplemented from France for the Graffard Yard, last seen when running in the Labbe. Ran second there, to be fair. Oh, no, didn't run in the Labbe, did it? Missed the Labbe, but
A lot right tonight, sir.
Yes, I'm all over the place. Anyway, all sorts of the usual names in here. I tipped up no half measures last week, mainly on the basis that I thought 66-1 was way too big. He's about 25-1 now. I'm not getting carried away saying, "Oh, I'm on it off the price" and all that. 25.
You are.
No, let me finish, young man. 25-1 is probably about right. I backed him at 66-1. Obviously, that's bigger. Tipped him on here. My argument with no half measures would be, and you don't need me to tell you, there's no superstar in the sprint division, blah, 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 blah. You've heard that 1,000 times. Lazat might be very good. He's got the best bit of form in the book, without any question. He was very good in the Jubilee. Not quite so good in France. Since then, got beat at odds on, I think. My argument with no half measures, won the July Cup fair and square, 66-1 that day. Big Mojo was second that day at Newmarket, where I thought no half measures won fair and square. Big Mojo went on and won the Sprint Cup. And I think you've got to try and put a line through no half measures effort in the Sprint Cup last time, where she was hampered at a key point. Not saying that she would have won or even made the podium that day at Haydock, but was hampered. And I just thought it was overpriced the other day. I wouldn't back her necessarily at 25-1.
It wasn't
Any
a race.
comment, SD?
Well, they all beat each other.
They do.
I have to say, I thought Lazat would probably win, but am I going to go balls deep at anti-post at 7-2? No.
No, fair enough. Yeah, loads, like I say, loads and loads
I
of
mean,
familiar names in there.
just Rosie Affair is improving at the right time. It
Yes.
wouldn't completely surprise me. I don't think the bar's that high. I think you could almost make a case for Spy Chief at a huge price. I was surprised Spy Chief was 66, I have to say. But it doesn't get your punting juices flowing like the Catterick Dash, does it?
I mean, look, it's got the makeup of a nice race. I mean, Lazat's won a Group 1 this year. Big Mojo's won a Group 1 this year. Kinda Blue won this race last year. Montasib won the Betfair, the Sprint Cup last year at Haydock in 24. And Flora of Bermuda has been placed in most of those races I've just said. I think it's a fair enough renewal for the horses available.
It is. It's just there's no superstar in the sprinting division, in it. It's
Nope.
obviously, whose turn is it today?
No, correct. Right, on to the Fillies and Mares then, SD. You do have a bet in here, 13 in there at the moment. One look supplemented for Twomey. I just thought it's worth noting here, this is tricky anti-post for a couple of reasons. There's 13 in there at the moment. 7 of them ran in races at Paris, Longchamp 2 weeks ago in Paris, in a variety of different races, including Kalpana in the Arc and others. So 7 of the 13 have been pretty busy in deep waters only 2 weeks ago. Will they be declared on Thursday is a question mark. Kalpana, possibly Wardar, who is the joint second, third favourite in there, Wardar for Owen Burrows, and particularly Estrange, definitely want softer ground. And they look unlikely to get it at this stage. Plus, Estrange apparently, caveat, apparently scoped dirty it and missed the Arc just 2 weeks ago. So is she got health or fitness issues? Question marks there. So ground is a question mark for the first 3 in there. I mean, like Wardar is the up and coming one that we, unexposed, Owen Burrows, but has never encountered anything quicker than good to soft. Last time was good stuff at Goodwood. Danielle is 4/5 favourite. She hasn't won a race of any description since the 28th of April 24. So
I was with you at Chester Zoo that day.
You was with me at Chester Zoo.
Somebody commented last week. They secretly hate each other. They said.
Yes,
Did you read that in the comments?
I did. I'm SD's biggest fan.
Yes.
I'm
look at
SD's
his
biggest
face.
fan.
He's
He's
so happy.
absolutely brilliant. SD's absolutely brilliant. He puts me to shame. But do I hate him? No, I mean, do I hate him sometimes when he's ringing me at 7:15 in the morning or even 7:15 at night, every day of the week? Possibly, but definitely not on air, SD. I think you're wonderful.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. You're not so bad yourself.
Thank you. Talk to me about
anyway.
The,
let's get to the point. I think your ground point on Kalpana is overblown. I've said for a long time she's not good enough to win the Arc, but she's bloody good enough to win this. I think the key with Kalpana after. I think she's a better horse than Ascot, I really do. I don't think any of these in here. Sometimes you just got to strip it back and be simple. Could any of these have run Calandagan to a length in the King George? I think the answer is no. That was on quick ground. So I'm not that concerned about it. I think they'll have a shot at this. I think they've got to. I think quick ground is more of a concern for a horse like Estrange.
Yes.
They could end up with mud on their face here with Estrange if it went quick. Wardar is, a promising filly. I don't think any of us are gonna disagree with that. But she was rated 96 coming into Goodwood. She's beat Danielle by 3/4 of a length. We're not
they
on
were a long
about
way clear of the rest that day.
Well, they might have been a long way clear of the rest, but then Danielle didn't necessarily back up next time when fourth at Doncaster. I think the difference in that sort of form to running second in a King George is light years, and I think Kalpana will win, and I think she'll go off half that price. There you go.
Confident. I've loved Kalpana in the King George, as you know, SD. I tipped her on here for the Orc directly after that, and yes, she ran 7th in the Orc last week in a race. SD, if we hand out criticism as often as I do on this channel, the front 4 in the 17 runner Orc were drawn 2, 1, 3, 5. Kalpana drawn 10, finished 7th. So yeah, maybe something to remember for next year. SD, Kalpana won this race last year on a kind of her coming out party. She was pretty quiet in 2024 until that gradually built towards
She's
this
not
race
Elton
last
John.
year. Yes, SD. Can you name me, off the top of your head, a single runner that Kalpana beat on Champions Day in this race last year?
No, it was a Catterick.
Of course you
I
was.
don't know. Did Danielle run?
No, I don't think so. No. I'll run you through them. Wingspan was second, done bugger all. Tiffany was third, has been okay. Village Voice for the Godolphin boys, but for Jesse Harrington, or must have been with Charlie at the time, now changed. Village Voice, done bugger all. Thunder Roll, bugger all. Time Lock, bugger all. Sea Theme, bugger all. You get my drift. Could be the same again. Could be the same again this year. But no, I thought she ran fantastic in the King George FD.
I think the point is she's not against trees, but she's against opposition which isn't that lofty. She got beat in the September Stakes. It came out with that bollock. She wasn't ready, but Giavolotto was fourth in the Arc. I mean, I just think she's a lot better than these.
And the official rating support that SD. She's £10 rated higher, a 122 to a strange 1-1.
I'm surprised. Look, I'm surprised she's still 4-1.
Yeah, that's fair enough. My thinking here, SD, and I know you don't think it's as important as maybe I do, but ground, particularly for a strange, possibly for Wardour, and possibly for Kalpana, I do think that there's recipe for some sort of result here. Let's say Wardour's improving, Estrange definitely.
Yeah, but that argument is extinguished with the King George run.
It is. Okay, if I give you Kalpana, away from Kalpana, I do think there's going to be an angle here. I don't know if it's anti-post, though. As I've said, 7 of these have only ran 2 weeks ago in proper races, a variety of them. I think on Thursday, this is how I'm going to play it. I'm just going to back whatever O'Brien is the first choice, O'Brien or Blind.
Wow.
Because I think he's SD. I don't think I've ever said those words on here until now. I just think he's got a good record in this race, particularly with improving.
Did we back Rhododendron in this?
Hey, Hydrangea, we back.
Hydrangea, I get them mixed up. I get my plants mixed up.
We was at Stratford. We backed it. It was at Stratford. Yeah. And I think there's question marks over plenty of these. The ones he's got in there at the moment, Bedtime Story, 20, 25 to 1. Ballet Slippers, a similar price, who is tripless so far in her career, if you ask me. And then Island Hopping is 100 to 1. So I'm reckoning if Ballet Slippers or Bedtime Story are declared and they're the only one of those two declared on Thursday, I'll just back them at around 20 to 1. That's my plan.
What price is Bedtime Story?
Showing here at 20 to 1 through Racing Post at the moment.
Well, should not be 20 to 1 on Thursday. I
think if one of those are declared, I'll back them at whatever it may be, 14, 16, whatever. That's my
way to play a race. There we go.
Maybe I'll have to revise that strategy on Thursday. I've not pulled any triggers, but that's my thinking at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Never pull a trigger on yourself, sir. Are we looking at the QE2?
We are, I think, yes. We're not just here for the Catterick Dash and the Fillies and Mears. Yep, the QE2, 325 over a mile on Saturday. Marvel Man supplemented for Andrew Balding here. So there's 17 at the moment. Word on the street is that Delacroix will be running the champion, but Aidan has left him in here anyway, as expected. Field of Gold is obviously the one to base the chat around in this race, SD. Back from injury in the Sussex, where he went off 1 to 3, and we all know that QEII was 150 to 1 in winning that. The question with Field of Gold is beating Cosmic Year in the Irish 2000 Guineas and Henri Matisse in the St. James's Palace at Royal Ascot. Is that any good?
Well, the clock doesn't lie. I have to say, some of the sectionals earlier in the year were very, very good indeed.
Electric.
And well, yes, electric. Yes, I mean, he was an absolute conductor to. No, I don't base everything on sectionals. I don't base that much on it, but he's a very, very good horse, and anyone who tells you not is quite frankly wrong. It's just a question of, he's coming back from a below par run with an excuse, and it's a fair race. You've got the bridesmaid in the race, haven't you, as well?
Yes, Rosalient. He looks like he might get his ground. It's good ground and no rain forecast type week. But he hasn't won a race this year, as we well know, ST, as you've just alluded to.
Yeah, and they trot the excuses out every time.
Rosalian's just not as good as Richard Hannon or people like me hoped he would be, and that's been proven on the track this year, unfortunately. Good horse, but
Yeah, I
not
don't
good
think
enough.
he's as good at 4 as he threatened to be at 3. I think that's
Correct.
fair.
Correct.
You've got Dancing Gemini, who we all called. I called him out. Thought it was a bloody duff thing for Group 1, so it's proved. Um, it's it's
Fallen Angel's
again
going to run.
again it's a fairly high bar. I wouldn't be surprised if the line in went around mile. To be honest, I thought he
Yeah,
was a
there's been
lot
a bit
better
of money
last
about.
time.
Yeah, there's been a bit of money about for him today, and with Delacroix going to the 10 furlong race. Yes, possibly that's an angle. I put up Never So Brave anti-post last Thursday or Wednesday at 12-1. He's still that now. I wouldn't put anyone off, but possibly from an each way angle as well. Yeah, I just
Back to Cheval, was probably given the worst ride of the season here, by the way, in the Prince of Wales. If
well,
you looked
yes.
how he was ridden by like an absolute kamikaze pilot.
I think if
Um,
you have read my comment on oddsnow.com, ST, towards Factor Cheval was ridden idiotically whenever he comes to the UK.
well, quite
Yes.
quite true.
Because he wasn't ridden to best effect on Champions Day as well, but that one at Royal Ascot was an absolute joke.
Briefly, Factor Cheval last year looked like beating Paddington. If you remember in the Sussex, briefly,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
brief.
yeah.
But yeah, he licked. Okay, the ground had probably gone for Charing, but he did lick Charing by 4.5, well, 3 lengths. Um, I suspect it's Field of Goals to lose, but do you want to be playing at 6-4? Certainly anti-post. You don't. I don't think I would be on the day either.
No, he was 94 when I looked last week, and I said I can see him going off very, very well supported. But yeah, I'm happy with Never So Brave. Fallen Angel, she's probably in the form of her life. She probably still isn't good enough to beat the boys, and she's probably going to run anyway. Bit of money around for Lion in Winter today. I mean, talk about taking a while to come to the boil. He's one that's not run a race this year as well. I mean,
Like a kettle without a plug, that thing.
given he was the Derby favourite, the Guineas favourite, and whatever you like favourite this time a year ago, his form this year is 6-14, 3-10, 3. Docklands loves Ascot 14-1, his usual type of price. Marvelman supplemented in the new bond ownership. This Alakazi I was going to mention, SD, for Johnny Murtagh. Again, I think at this time of the year you can get horses that weren't particularly in classics earlier in the season, have took a bit longer to develop, like Kalpana last year. Well, this Alakaze could meet that criteria. 3-year-old for Johnny Murtagh has gone, listed Group 3, Group 2. Not necessarily winning all of them, but certainly going in the right direction form-wise. And none of the others are good enough to win, are they? So yeah, I have put up Never So Brave anti-post, 1 point win, 12-1. If you want to back him each way, I wouldn't argue with that either, to be fair. But 1 point win is the official selection. Right. The feature race for many of the day, it's £803,000 to the winner. The Champion Stakes, 15 entered at the moment. Devil's Advocate has been supplemented as pacemaking duties for Ombudsman. We saw a different pacemaker in the Juddmonte work to good effect. They got the job done, and Ombudsman won. First Look is the horse that has been supplemented in here for Andre Fobb. That is a Wafnan-owned horse. So that is 2 Wafnan horses in, I think, yeah, One Look in the Fillies and Mares, and First Look in this race, both Wafnan owned, both Wafnan supplemented. There's 3 big guns in this race, let's get it right. They're all rated bang in the mid-20s. Ombudsman, 128, actually. Delacroix, I think, 126-ish. And Calandagan's 120, probably more, 128. I can't get the official up; it's not showing, but he won the King George. And when we last saw him, really, really good race between those three, is it not, SD?
I've got to say, so I do crab
You do,
Champions Day,
you
but
do.
this is a crackerjack, isn't it? I mean,
Good.
Almaquam has threatened to be a Group One horse. Calandagan obviously is. You've got Economics coming back. You've got First Look, who won one of those bloody French races. Look, even some of the rags. I'm just going down here. Fox Legacy look promising at Goodwood. I'm not sure LA will run. Ombudsman obviously needs no introduction. Looked a superstar at York.
Yeah.
Almeric is completely unexposed. We don't know how good he'll be, but he won the Doonside Cup like a bloody good horse. Your Pride of Arras, of course, who has to prove it away from York, but looked pretty good in the Voltager. It's a very good race with some depth.
Yeah, it is very good, to be
I
fair.
suspect what may happen is Ombudsman may win, but again, he's what is he 7-4? He wouldn't, and of course you got Delacroix. I missed Delacroix out who licked Ombudsman in the Eclipse. Probably, I think Ombudsman is the most likely winner. But would it surprise you if any of those 5 or 6 who I've just named won? Absolutely. I think it's a race to watch, to be honest.
It's difficult, isn't it, because to have a strong opinion, because Judmont, for example, was dominated for large parts by that pacemaker. He clearly did his job. He was a pacemaker for Ombudsman, and Ombudsman won. But people might question or pick holes in that. Delacroix at Sandown was borderline incredible, really, given where he was at the furlong pole and where he finished and how fast he finished. Ombudsman, did he go too early that day? And then people like me kind of still doubted Delacroix as being top class, and then he went and wazzed all over the Irish champion, which was a lesser race than this. Don't get me wrong, but he really did rubber stamp his superiority in that one.
I think it is an exceptional race. I
Yeah,
think
and
it's a really good, really, really nice contest.
And Calandagan, probably better over a mile and a half. Can't run in the Arc because he's a gelding, doesn't have many other options, so he comes in here. I think the fact that Calandagan is coming back to 10 furlongs makes it even more intriguing because, is he as effective over 10 furlongs? We'll find out. Almaquan has always threatened to be a good horse. Exactly what SD said, I agree with. So, yeah, absolute belter, that is. There's no bets from SD or I at the moment. They probably won't be on Thursday, to be honest. These will all stand their ground and there'll be similar prices to the are now. Absolute belter. And at least with Catterick finishing early, SD, you'll be at home in time to watch the 405 from the comfort.
Thinking I might just stop off in Midland on the way home and have a drink and watch the racing.
Yeah. Anyway. The Balmoral, you did put up one last week, SD, in the concluding handicap 1 mile straight. 47 at the moment, maximum of 20. Native Warrior, you successfully tipped. I think on the last 2 occasions he's won. He will run or should run under a penalty again. He's the 6-1 market leader. This Crown of Oaks, they were speaking about this one. Running in the Cambridgeshire, William Haggis steered clear of that one. Still looks in the well handicapped bracket. Wharton Bassett gelding there. And loads of quite other familiar names. The one where there's been plenty of money for, plenty of blue for on your odds comparison websites today is Fifth Column, tipped by Mr. SD last week at 25-1. I think he's now showing as a 10-1 best. I like this horse. I'll put him up for the Cambridgeshire. He failed me there, but probably didn't stay, as SD made a point on Thursday's show. Won a really good handicap at York. I thought Cosley than the winning distance of a short head suggested. Apiarist is in there as well. SD ran really, really well last time. Gets to get in here off a £1 lower mark by the looks of it. I could be reading that wrong. And then plenty of other familiar names as well.
I would say, by the way, I was half interested in Inisherin for the sprint, but Kevin Ryan's horses. I don't know when he last had a winner. You'll have to flick the calendar back some time. It does worry me somewhat. The Ryan Yard clearly not running correctly at the moment. He had a few winners this week. Then yes, Apiarist Apiarist would be of interest. But look, I'm very happy with where we are in the race, and I don't see the need to go in again.
Yeah, Innis Sharing going backwards to the sprint was the best placed single figure drawn horse in the Betfair Sprint Cup. Why do I keep saying Betfair? I get it mixed up with the Betfair.
Betfair do sponsor the
They
race.
do sponsor, but we don't usually mention sponsors. But yeah, anyway.
Your yellow check's in the post, sir.
Thank you
You're
for
doing
a
a
horse
very
that
good
runs.
Katie Midwinter impression.
Thank you. Right, we've done half an hour there then, SD. So you put up one, and you put up one, and we've got 3 anti-post bets between us.
I put up 2.
You put up 2, yes. Oh, yeah, sorry. The Dash, Lexington Blitz, and
A long
Kalpana.
time since the Dash. I think it's just worth reflecting on last weekend, isn't it? With the farce at Chepstow. I could be here for ages, but it does appear to be ArcTrack's policy not to release quantities of water going on. Well,
Well,
that's
that's farcical. It's no way near good enough.
well,
It's no
I
way near
don't
good.
think it's good enough either. It's clear that they probably want to keep stuff back from the Environment Agency. But what's probably even worse than that is this notion that you can just change the ground. I mean, the chase course at Chepstow on Friday on times was firm. It was officially given as good. Then it went to good to firm in places. Okay, but this is not. And look, Di Jones was a perfectly good amateur jockey, but at some point, somebody in art needs to be saying, "Why are we employing this fellow?" So let's just have a look at why are we employing Mr. Di Jones. 2021. These are all with Di Jones in charge.
Okay.
Anger as ridiculous false lass abandoned just 10 minutes before first race with jockey branding stewards clueless. Clark of the course, Di Jones. Do you want to go to 2022?
Yep.
I'm absolutely fuming. Fergal O'Brien slams Foss Lass for lack of clarity. The South Wales track failed its first inspection at 7:30, called a second check at 9:30. I spoke to Di Jones, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send him an invoice. The water was frozen, but apparently it wasn't frozen at 7:30, it froze at 9:30. Make of that what you will. 2023, we've not finished here yet. Our hands were tied. Foss Lass Clark defends late decision to call fixture off after persistent rain. Di Jones was at Foss Lass before Chepstow. According to Callum Shepherd, Finley Marsh got there before me and he sent me a video showing the state of the course. There were holes filled with water and the course was clearly unfit for racing. 2025 comes along, January this year. We're not in the business of dragging people out here. Chepstow defends decision after decision making as card abandoned after 2 races. So this is the 5th thing. There are other things if you look hard enough. Where Mr. Jones has been in charge, and clearly, Coco Mademoiselle, I think, finished lame on Friday. Dan Skelton subsequently pulled most of his chase runners out. Clearly, there are questions to answer. And to be quite frank with you, if it wasn't jobs for the boys, he should be out on his ear.
I see. I can't really add anything to that. It's like every
Well, it
week.
sounds. I've just read all that out to you. It's farcical. People
Every
say that's
week.
personal. No, it isn't. Di Jones happens to be the dad of Ben Jones, the jockey. That does not give him the right to be clerk of the course at Chepstow.
It's like every week or month that passes, we have a going force. We start. We had Utoxter on Midlands next
No, we don't.
Monday.
We don't have a go. Well, that was art, but we don't
Yeah.
have a going fast here. What we've got now is 5 instances of ranking competence. One's bad enough. Two's taking the piss. 5, it's off the Richter scale, man.
Well, on that bombshell of investigative journalism from SD, we will leave it there. We'll be back Thursday as always, SD. Yep.
Oh, we'll be back on Thursday, old fellow, and I'm sure we'll have all the best selections for Champions Day, the weekend that really gets your pulse racing.
Awesome. See you later. Cheers.